Friday, Billy's birthday, 25 years old today. I remember the day he was born. It was snow in the beat hill, cold, wind blowing. I'll never forget it, looking out the hospital windows, the snow blowing outside and thinking, oh, what a miserable time to carry a baby around. Although today there's just a dusting of snow, it's definitely cold and windy. I wanted to get this Malibu finished up so Billy could drive it for his birthday. But first, I need to run some errands. I need to run down to Super Duty Truck Parts in Newark, take the drive shaft down, have 3 inches cut out of it. So I dropped it off there, and me and the dogs headed towards Buckeye Lake. I needed to go down to see Mark, pick up a few things at A1, and of course the dogs wanted their treats. They waste very little time getting back behind the counter every time we go down. Anyway, Mark got me hooked up on some side post battery bolts, a new battery for the Malibu, can of ether for starting the cars this weekend, and a funnel, a couple other little things, and then helped me carry everything out and put it in the Suburban. After that, we stopped and got Burger King for everybody back home, and the dogs patiently waited on their chicken fries. About the time I got done with that, Super Duty called me back. Drive shaft's done. So another trip clear back down to Newark to get the drive shaft, and then I come home and start putting the drive shaft in the car. The drive shaft fit up in the car just perfect. So I went ahead and tightened down the straps on the U-joint, and then got the vacuum switch all hooked up on the side of the transmission so that the converter locks and unlocks like it's supposed to. After that, I went ahead and checked the drain plug on the transmission to make sure it was tight before I set the car down and filled the transmission up with some fluid and hooked up the wiring for the torque converter switch. Vicky had to let the dogs out to come see me. They knew I was in the shop and they wouldn't quit raising hell until she let them out. So they come out to see me as I was finishing up putting the new battery in the car and filling it up with transmission fluid. And Big Rob was working on the transmission shifter linkage, modifying it to fit around the header. Once we had everything all back together, I checked the transmission fluid level, and that's about the time Billy showed up. He wanted to take it for a test drive. The converter in the Malibu that fits this 700R4 is pretty loose. So with the 220 rear end gear ratio, it slips really bad. It's not really going to drive properly and shift correctly until we change the rear gear ratio out. And at this point, we can't even use overdrive unless you're going about 100 miles an hour. But that's okay. We'll get a gear put in it pretty soon, and a posi unit. He's already got the parts sitting here in the shop. Once we got back from the test drive, we put the Malibu back in the shop, and then we started making plans for dinner. We wanted to take everybody out someplace to get dinner tonight for Billy's birthday, but we hadn't decided where just yet. When Junior finally made his choice, it was Longhorn Steakhouse. We all went down to have dinner together, and then Vicky goaded me into taking her to Walmart. While we were sitting there in the Longhorn Steakhouse, she explained to me she just needed to go over there and get some garland. Garland doesn't require a shopping cart. Yep, you guessed it. I got conned. I had to listen to her rattle about Christmas decorations this, decorations that. She didn't want to get me a Hanukkah Harry, but she did get a couple of advent calendars for the dogs. I was okay with that. So far, not a single piece of garland to be found. But we're looking at everything else. So far, I've managed to keep her under control until we hit this section. I reminded her that she's already got a Chinese snowman. She couldn't make up her mind what she wanted. She's thumbing through everything while the cart rolls away from her. Damn near knocked over the Christmas tree there. She gathers it back up, comes back and pointing out everything else that she doesn't really need. And then the cart takes off on her again, damn near knocks the tree over for a second time. I come back, stand on the other side of her, hold the cart, and that's when all hell breaks loose. She can't decide which one of these she's going to pick, so she got every damn one of them. Still, no garland. Evidently, green stuff is completely out of the question, even the Grinch, and she didn't care for that thing, whatever that was either. Still no garland to be found. That's not garland either. But we got them. We got a whole bunch of other junk too. A bunch of junk-looking Christmas trees, red bells, a Santa Claus suit which I refuse to wear, a bunch of goofy-looking earmuffs, 20 minutes worth of indecision over bows, and by the time I found something I thought she should get, she refused altogether. Whatever. I did find some really nice green and red cups, but got scolded for even mentioning that. And then she didn't really care for my comment about the Frosty the Snowman either. After about 45 minutes, I'd had all I could take, and I was dismissed out to the Suburban.
So Dad let you get some decorations, I'm assuming.
Yeah. How much of this is new? All of it. I've never decorated the barn over here before, so we had to get new stuff.
I actually love it.
All right, guys, so we had a pretty good day today. I'm really happy that Malibu's up and running. With the exception of the fan clutch being put on it, it's ready to go. Like, you could drive it daily and rely on it if you had to. The only thing that's not on it right now is the fan clutch and all that. We'll have that by Monday. Mark should have that stuff for us by Monday. So I've got the rest of the factory fan shroud and all that, so we should be able to put all that on and wrap that up by Monday. And then as long as the weather holds out halfway decent, I'd like to try and get Junior to take it in there to Lucor and get that posi unit and the rear end gear put in it. The rear end gear ratio that he bought is a 373, but as loose as that converter is and the camshaft that's in it, I'm thinking a 410 would probably be the best choice, because I'm sure that when he does go ahead and put a new set of wheels and tires on it, he'll probably put a 275 60/15 on the back, or a 28 10/5 of some kind. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be a fairly tall tire, so I figure probably a 410, given the fact that that converter is as loose as it is, and the fact that it's got overdrive and a lockup converter. A 410 would probably be what I would put in it. So I'll talk to him about that. But really nice little car. It runs and drives so nice. I am a little bit concerned that the factory shifter on the column, I can't get it all the way down into low gear. You can pull it down, manually shift it into second gear, but you can't get low. But I don't really want to put a floor shifter in it, and Billy doesn't seem to want to put a floor shifter in it either. So seeing as how it's not supposed to be a race car, it'll probably get left on the column for the time being. But if something happens and some slow car action gets cranking around here, he may end up just putting a quarter stick in it. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But next spring, I definitely want to get the air conditioning all hooked up. Mark down here at A1 can custom make air conditioning lines. So he's already told us he's more than willing to help us out getting the AC lines custom made, whatever we need there. So that's good news. let's see, what else? Oh, we're going to Dig or Die this weekend. I think we're leaving Thursday. So, really excited about that. And the weather is looking pretty good for Dig or Die. They were saying high 60s in Rockingham next weekend, Saturday. So, that's good news. Oh, I don't know. I just kind of feeling festive with all these lights getting ready for Christmas. I don't know. We're just very thankful, and we had a really good Thanksgiving. And it's not over yet. I think Vicky's going to make dinner for everybody Sunday night for our family, because we haven't been with my mom and dad, my family, my brothers, or any of that yet. So looking to do that probably Sunday. Look who's back. I know we got a little bit of work this week. We need to do maintenance on the Falcon and the S10 to get ready for Rockingham. And I know my brother's coming tomorrow. I think tomorrow morning. I think my brother's coming to pick up the Suburban because I think the steering gear box is getting just about wore out. There's something in the front end of the Suburban that's not right. I wasn't sure if my brother was going to get to it. I made an appointment to take it to Hebron if he didn't get it done, but sounds like he's going to try and work on the Suburban tomorrow. It needs intake manifold gaskets. They're leaking antifreeze, and something's going on with the front suspension. Steering gear box, drag link, there's something wrong with it, and it's just terrible. It drives terrible right now. It's not chewing the tires up, but it's wandering all over the road, so I want to make sure I get that fixed. And then we also want to try and get the oil changed in the Cummins truck, the Dodge or the Ram, whatever you want to call it. I want to try and get that truck serviced before we go back down to Rockingham this weekend. So a lot of stuff to get done this week. Also, I know Billy is itching to get that Nova up here. He's got that 540 all aluminum big block sitting over here on the floor, and I know he's wanting to get the Nova brought up here from storage, and he's wanting to get the big block set down in it and get the motor plate cut out and attached to the front frame rails. So that's probably going to come up this week, I'm sure, because he's itching to get on that. So a lot of good stuff happening, a lot of good things coming this way, and really excited to go to Dig or Die. And Billy's going to be with us again, and everything's getting back to normal. Slowly. Thankfully. So appreciate everybody watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. I think I hit 78,000 subscribers today or yesterday. I just can't hardly believe that. I can't thank you all enough. Greatly appreciate it. Keep your eye out for some other news. Got some other stuff coming up I don't want to say anything about yet, but there's some other good stuff coming that I'm really happy about. Talk to everybody later. See you tomorrow.
I should have bought more glitter snowflakes.